Hello, my name is Jeannie Benson, and I will be going over verse mapping. Theodore Roosevelt said, "A thorough knowledge of the Bible is worth more than a college education." But does reading 66 chapters and 31,102 verses scare you? I've been studying the Bible for many years, and it still scares me at times. However, since volunteering with Proverbs 31 Ministries online Bible studies and now serving on the exec team, I've learned a powerful tool to help break down the 31,102 verses in the NIV to be easier to study. It's called verse mapping. And today I'm going to teach you the steps of verse mapping, which include how to personalize the verses, finding other versions, how to use concordances and dictionaries, and other versions to learn the verses, and then listening to the Holy Spirit to speak to you through these verses. You will learn how much easier it is to learn verses in the Bible as a result, and have a more thorough knowledge of the Bible, as well as growing closer to God. The steps to verse mapping are not that hard. They can be fun, especially if you use different colored pens and pencils. Now let me explain the steps. Step 1, write the verse and note the version. Step 2, personalize the verse for yourself. Step 3, write the verse before and after it in the same version. 4, this is where you'll write the same verse in other translations. Step 5, cross-reference the original verse. 6, word study on words that stuck out. And the last step, take away your word or your message you received from the Holy Spirit. Now let's begin with step 1. And here is a document where you could do this for. You can either do it handwritten or on a computer. Step 1, you will write the verse and note the version. After writing the verse, now you're going to personalize the verse. Step 2. This means anywhere it may say you or refer yourself, you will add your name. So for example, you would say, ask and it will be given to Jeannie. Seek and Jeannie will find. Knock and the door will be open to Jeannie. That's my example. Step 3 is to write the verses before and after. By doing this, you're reading verses around it to obtain and learn the context of this verse. It can help you better understand the verse you are mapping. Now to step 4. And this is probably my favorite. And this is where you write the verse in different versions. This process, you will either need another Bible in a different version, or there are many apps for your phone or tablet, or you could go to a website. Now, my favorite website is BiblesGateway.com. You can type in the verse and you can do a side-by-side of different versions and read them. Now, my favorite app for my phone or tablet is YouVersion. This app, you can toggle through different translations as well and see how they read. We are so lucky to have the technology and that we can have so many different ways to study the versions. Now, the next step. This step is step 5, and you may not always have something for this. Sometimes verses have a cross-reference. In other words, the verse in its entirety or part may be found in another chapter or verse within this same book, or sometimes it may be a verse in New Testament found in the Old Testament and vice versa. This also can be fun sometimes because it may reference one verse, you go to that verse references another verse, and so on. It's kind of like looking for treasure in the Bible. So the next step, step 6, is the word study. And this is similar to step 4 in that you may need other items such as dictionaries or concordances or an app. Words in the New Testament were originally wrote in Greek and the Old Testament were wrote in Hebrew, which I actually get confused about sometimes because Hebrews is actually a book of the Bible in the New Testament. But when we're talking about language, the Old Testament was wrote in Hebrew. I pick out words out of the verse that stands out to me. I then either look them up in a dictionary or there's another wonderful app that is great, and it's called the Blue Letter Bible, BLB. You can get the Hebrew or Greek word, and there's a button so you can learn the pronunciation of the word. It also has definition of the word, and you can see where that same word is used in the same definition in the Bible in other places. It's very interesting, and again, it's like being on a treasure hunt. The final step to verse mapping, and this is where you have your quiet time with God, is the takeaway or what the Holy Spirit may be saying to you through these verses. During this time, just sit and read the verses with the personalization. Then sit and just let your mind go. Then start writing and journaling your thoughts. You can do the same verse on different days and receive a different message. In conclusion, the 31,102 verses in the NIV Bible should not be as scary to pick up and read now. After learning the steps, the verse mapping, personalizing, finding other versions, using concordances, and word study, and using a word study, you should begin having a more thorough knowledge of the Bible. Sometimes learning the Bible is scary, but it's not what the Bible was meant to be. We are to read and learn about God and His intention for believers. My prayer and desire after today is you will pick up the Bible and enjoy studying in the verses in more detail and have a more thorough knowledge of the Bible. As Acts 15:31 in the NIV states, the people read it and were glad for its encouraging message. Thank you.